A shocking crime you won't believe. And the truth is even darker than you think. Stay tuned. And don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing stories. Clapperboard, let's dive in. The morning of October 12, 2018, began like any other at Hawthorne First National Bank, a reputable institution in the heart of Chicago's financial district. The streets bustled with professionals, their coffee-fueled conversations blending into the symphony of city life. The towering glass facade of the bank reflected the morning sun, a beacon of trust and stability in the world of finance. But by midday, something was amiss. Customers started reporting issues accessing their accounts. Large sums of money had seemingly disappeared. The bank's IT department scrambled to diagnose the problem, but nothing seemed out of place, except for a peculiar series of unauthorized transfers that had bypassed standard security protocols. By 5 p.m., when the branch's manager, Daniel Whitaker, failed to show up for a routine audit, alarm bells rang. Calls to his cell phone went unanswered. His office, normally immaculate, was eerily empty, save for an overturned coffee cup and a half-written report on his desk. The vault was secure, the bank's doors locked, but $20 million had vanished. And so had Daniel. Within 24 hours, a full-scale federal investigation was underway. Daniel Whitaker had the perfect profile, an intelligent, ambitious man who had spent 15 years climbing the ranks of the banking world. He had started as a lowly teller at the age of 22, quickly moving up the corporate ladder with a combination of sharp intellect and an unshakable work ethic. He was known for his ability to solve complex financial problems, a trait that had earned him the admiration of his colleagues and the trust of his superiors. Married with 2 children, he lived in a modest but comfortable suburban home in Oak Park. On weekends, he played golf with high-profile clients, attended local charity events, and maintained the persona of a devoted family man. Yet beneath this polished exterior was a man harboring a secret desire for more. More power, more control, more money. Friends and colleagues never suspected he had a dark side. But Daniel's ambition stretched far beyond what a steady banking career could offer. What no one knew was that for nearly a decade, he'd been quietly constructing a financial labyrinth, a web of fake accounts, forged transactions, and digital smoke screens that would allow him to execute the heist of a lifetime. It began small, skimming fractions of percent from dormant accounts, shifting funds across international accounts, and creating phantom investments that only he controlled. Over 6 years, Daniel perfected his techniques, ensuring that no single transaction raised a red flag. He exploited loopholes in the system and used his position to override security checks, manipulating the bank's own policies against itself. Every detail had been meticulously planned. He set up shell companies in the Cayman Islands, opened offshore accounts under aliases, and encrypted his transactions using the latest cybersecurity measures. Daniel knew the financial system inside and out, and he used that knowledge to orchestrate a heist that would leave no trace. At least, that was his plan. The final phase of his operation unfolded over a period of 6 months. He initiated a series of unauthorized transfers, slowly funneling money into a complex network of foreign accounts. Each transfer was strategically placed to coincide with routine banking operations, effectively masking them from scrutiny. By the time he executed the final move, the money was gone, scattered across multiple jurisdictions beyond the reach of standard law enforcement. On the night of October 11, 2018, Daniel boarded a private flight bound for an undisclosed location. By the time his disappearance was noticed, he was already thousands of miles away. FBI Special Agent Melissa Carter was assigned to the case, and she knew from the start that this wasn't a typical bank fraud. The precision, the sophistication, it all pointed to an inside job. As forensic accountants combed to the bank's records, they found traces of a digital ghost. Accounts that never should have existed, transfers with no paper trail, and international wire transactions routed through shell companies. The first days of the investigation were a frenzy of activity. Agents interviewed colleagues, combed through security footage, and analyzed Daniel's financial history. His wife and children, visibly shaken, swore they had no knowledge of his whereabouts. The media frenzy escalated as speculation ran wild. Had Daniel been kidnapped? Was he working with an organized crime syndicate? Or had he simply outwitted the system and vanished with his fortune? Clues led investigators in multiple directions. A luxury villa in the Cayman Islands was leased under an alias that traced back to Daniel. Yet, when authorities arrived, they found nothing but an empty house, its security system disabled. Surveillance footage from O'Hare International Airport showed a man matching Daniel's description boarding a plane to Tokyo, but facial recognition software failed to confirm it was him. It seemed as though he had evaporated into thin air. For weeks, the case stalled. The FBI traced multiple leads, each more frustrating than the last. The forensic team uncovered offshore accounts containing only small remnants of stolen funds. Nothing close to the missing $20 million. The money had been laundered through a complex network of digital assets, cryptocurrency exchanges, and anonymous shell corporations. The biggest question remained: where was Daniel? Then, a breakthrough. A transaction in Singapore, $250,000 wired from an account linked to Daniel's alias, set off alarms. The money led them to a private charter service. Records revealed a one-way flight to Montenegro, a country with no extradition treaty with the U.S. The hunt was back on. Agent Carter and her team arrived in Montenegro, setting up surveillance around luxury residences and private clubs frequented by foreign fugitives. The tension mounted as they combed through leads. Then, a stroke of luck. A security camera at a seaside resort captured a man resembling Daniel, heavily bearded, but the eyes were unmistakable. On January 8th, 2019, an elite Interpol task force moved in. Daniel was arrested in a high-stakes takedown at a luxury casino, attempting to launder his stolen money through high-stakes poker games. The once respected banker was now in handcuffs, his perfect crime crumbling around him. Extradited to U.S., Daniel faced multiple charges, including wire fraud, money laundering, and conspiracy. He ultimately pleaded guilty in exchange for a reduced sentence, though the government recovered $14 million of stolen funds. The remaining $6 million was never found. To this day, authorities believe he may have hidden it in offshore accounts under encrypted passcodes only he knows. Daniel Whitaker's story became a cautionary tale in financial crime circles. His case reshaped banking security protocols and led to stricter regulatory oversight. But for those who knew him, the biggest shock was not the crime itself. It was a realization that the person they trusted the most had orchestrated the ultimate betrayal. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. More amazing content coming soon. Stay tuned.